So this is going to be a short video. Let us look on how we can interact with the standard input in JavaScript. So first, let's go ahead and create a JavaScript file. Let's call it maybe main.js. Oopsie. Main.js. Okay. We are going to create a very simple program. This program is going to accept an input from the user, and then it will simply check if the number that the user supplied is a prime number, and then we shall return the result back to the user. So first, let's go ahead and create the function that will check if a number is a prime number. So function is prime. We'll take in a value x, and then simply check if this number is a prime number. We do know that a prime number is only divisible by 1 and itself, so we know 0 is not a prime number, 1 is also not a prime number. Therefore, if x is less or equal to 1, oopsie, sometimes I confuse myself and think like I'm still using Python. So if x is less or equal to 1, simply return false. Otherwise, we now have to check. We now have to check if there is a number starting from 2 all the way to x. Is there even a single number that divides x? If there is such a number, then obviously x is not a prime number. If there isn't, obviously x is a prime number. So for us to divide x by all numbers from 2 to x but not including x, we simply have to use a for loop. Alright, we'll start from 2 up to I hate using index, it don't make sense calling it index. Let's say I, then let's say I is 2. I should be less than x. I should be less than x. And then we go to the next iteration of the loop. Oh my god, what did I do? We go to the next iteration of the loop by post incrementing I. Right? This is our for. Let's get rid of these errors and we shall be good to go. One more. All right. So if the loop finishes successfully, then we should return true, implying that x is in fact a prime number. Otherwise, let us check if there is a number, if any, that divides x from starting from 2 all the way but not including x. If there is such a number, obviously x will no longer be prime, and then we will simply return false. Good. So we are done. To interact with the standard input in JavaScript, we have to make use of the standard in. Now the standard in JavaScript, we are using the nodejs runtime. Therefore the standard in nodejs is in fact a stream. Now a stream, as we saw in that, I shall pull the that file here and let us split it to the right for reference. We'll come back to that code later. But in JavaScript, a stream is just an abstraction of where you want to write or read the data. So in this case, the standard input always acts as like a file, like you're reading a file. Therefore, like the standard input is a stream. In this case, we call it is a readable stream, meaning we can get data from the stream. Therefore, to interact with the stream in JavaScript, main.js, to interact with data from this, to interact with a readable stream in Node.js, we refer to the process object and then reference the standard in. And then in order to read a stream in Node.js, a readable stream, we register a listener. So all readable streams in JavaScript are like, when I mean JavaScript, we are speaking of the Node.js runtime. Therefore, readable streams do fire some events. One of the events they fire is known as the data event. So the readable streams in Node.js can be in two possible states. A readable stream can be in what we call a flowing state, or it can be in what we call if I'm not mistaken, a paused state. Therefore, when you create a readable stream, or when you obtain a readable stream somewhere, it will be in a flowing state if there is any data listener that have been registered. In this case, we are registering a listener. Therefore, this stream will be in a flowing state. By flowing state, we mean like it will be providing data whenever that data is available automatically. When the stream is in what we refer to as a not flowing state or in a pause state, it implies that you have to get the data from the stream manually. Like you have to invoke some method onto the stream in order to obtain the data, and we shall see how to do that. So the first method is simple. Therefore, we register a listener on the data event. The data event is fired whenever the stream is providing data. Therefore, for example, if let us do to an example. So what we obtain is a value. In this case, we are going to echo back this value to the console and simply say you typed, and then simply provide whatever it was provided from the standard input. Therefore, let's begin with this, and then let's begin with this first example to illustrate what I mean. So node main.js. All right, let's say 1 2 3. There you go. You typed, and then as you can see, you typed, and then what is returned to us is a buffer object. This means ordinarily, if you do not provide an encoding onto the stream, a buffer object will be returned instead. Therefore, we have to provide the encoding for our stream. So standard input, simply call the set encoding method, and then simply provide the effect here, which means in this case the data from our stream will be passed into a string. And therefore, if we run our program once again and type something like welcome to Node.js standard in, there you go. What we wrote has been echoed back to us. You typed welcome to Node.js standard in. So the difference from the last example is that in this case, by providing an encoding, in this case the UTF-8, we have essentially transformed the data in our stream into a string. All right, so far so good. What I want to illustrate is, for example, the idea is, if you provide the data listener, if you provide a listener on the data event, even if you do not consume the data, the stream is still sending the data, which means we can register another event here and say maybe process dot standard in. Let's register another event. So readable streams also fire an event called end. This is fired when the stream has been exhausted, meaning that all of the data from the stream has been consumed. So we can actually simply provide a function here, and then you can simply say console.log. I'm not sure if data is also sent during the end method, but we could give it a try. Okay, so here we go. 1 2 3 4. So as you can see, we're still interacting with the standard input, but if I do fire, so I abruptly stop the standard input, but this line doesn't work. I swear it does work. I'm not so sure why would this line not executed. The only thing I can think of is that we have terminated the program, and therefore the program terminates here, so this line won't be executed. And the other reason is, remember I said the end event will only be fired when all of the stream has been consumed, all the data from the stream has been consumed. But in this case, the standard input, as you can see, it was still accepting data from us, and therefore the end event could not be triggered. Anyway, so that's how we interact with the standard input from nodejs. All right, what's left is now let us take the data from the user and then pass it to a function. So simply, as we did before, let's perform a string interpolation and simply say that whatever you have typed, in this case chunk, is a prime number, and then we shall call our function which will give us the answer. So call is prime and simply pass in the chunk over here. You're done. So give it a go. 2 is a prime number. 2 3 is the prime number. Okay. 4 false. 5 true. 6 false. What about 3? 33. Let's be false. 1 1 3 true. What about this large number? It's false. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 9 9 9 9 5 4 3 false. All right, what about 1 0 1? All right, so guys, last time we did go through some of my other favorite languages. So we did a similar thing in Dart, in C++, as well as in PHP and Python. Now, one of the interesting things that I did, we wanted to see how far can we go, like how big is the number that you can provide before our program stops, or before our program starts hanging. I think it was as big as this. Let's give it a try. Yep, it's hanging. All right, guys, the implementation so far is basic because we are not even checking if the data that the user is supplied is actually valid. Like, we could also pass in a string here and our function could still work. Now JS is weird, so let's give it a try. Let us say Chris. What will happen? It works for some reason. For some reason, providing a string to our function does work. Now JavaScript is what we call casting. So you guys can tell me what's happening. I am providing a string called Chris, and for some reason we were expecting that it was going to fail, but it's not failing for some reason. How is that possible? For example, we are starting from 2 and then we compare 2 with x. Now I do know in JavaScript, if you have a number, if you're comparing a number with a string, I believe the number will be converted to a string and then the comparison will take place. So the comparison will take place here. So I think the 2, so I is 2 and then we check is 2 less than Chris, but since Chris is a string, 2 will be converted to a string and then we'll begin our comparison. So in this case, 2 is a string, and therefore we are going to check 2 and C, and then we are going to check like whichever comes first. The fact that the function returns true will imply 2 is not less than C. Now obviously I think by default the comparison by strings, I guess, say in AXI appears way farther than 2. Like C in AXI could be is a number and 2 is a number, so I guess C is greater than 2, therefore 2 is less than Chris. I'm not sure, but what do you guys think? Anyways, it would appear like the for loop doesn't execute and therefore function returns true, which means the important check-in appears here, right over here. For some reason 2 is less than Chris. Welcome to JavaScript. But like as I've said before, JavaScript does perform implicit conversions, and therefore I do believe, like, if you do have a string and a number, the number will be cast to a string and then the comparison will take place. Therefore, like in this case, we're checking if 2 as a string is less than the string Chris. Or have you guys think about that? Anyways, that was fun. That is JavaScript for you. Anyways, I think, guys, I'm gonna stop here for today. For those who are joining me today, you can look at the link down below to my last video where we did go through some of my favorite languages and how they interacted with the standard input. And like on your right here, you can see one of the programs that we wrote was in det. You can see the similarity between that and JavaScript. Therefore, in that too, the standard input is also a stream, but in that we had to transform the stream and then we register the listener by calling the listen method onto the stream. But in JavaScript, we use on, something of which we are so accustomed if you've been using jQuery, and then the rest is simple because like you pass in a callable that will receive the data from the stream. Similarly, we pass in a callable that will receive the data from the stream. Well, that's it. The isPrime function is the same. The only difference is that since that is a static, it's a static type language. That's the only difference, but the implementations are basically the same here. This line here where we perform an encoding is the same here by using a transform. Obviously, if you guys are interested, next time we could go through another example where we could create a similar functionality just as in that by using transform streams, and therefore you'll see like the two are almost the same. So I would say last time I did pick Python and that as the winners, like the programs with the best interaction with the standard input. But I guess what do you guys think? So far, I guess it's det or JavaScript that have the best interaction with the standard input and overall the file system, in my opinion. Anyway, guys, see you soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. But also, you can click the links down below or on the top of your screen to see my last video. Thank you, guys, and I will see you soon.